One early morning in the quiet grasslands of the Nanka Wildlife Reserve, a patrol team made a heartbreaking discovery. Huddled in the damp grass was a frail, orphaned cheetah cub. Its tiny frame trembled with cold and fear, its fur matted with dew, and its sunken belly hinted at days without food. The cub's large eyes stared up, not with aggression, but with helplessness. Without hesitation, the team carefully transported the cub back to the rescue center. There, a young caretaker named Lena Morley, known for her empathy and skill with animals, volunteered to take on the responsibility of raising the fragile cub. She named him Naro, a word from the local dialect meaning second chance. Each morning, Lena warmed bottles of milk, gently cleaned Naro's fur, and spoke to him with a soft, nurturing tone. At first, Naro remained wary and reserved, curling tightly in corners. But soon, he began to respond to Lena's presence, pressing against her legs like a house cat yearning for comfort. Lena spent hours with Naro, using plush toys to simulate prey and teaching him to stalk, chase, and pounce. She led him to a specially designed enclosure with tall grass, hiding spots, and natural obstacles. Under Lena's guidance, Naro's instincts awakened. His legs grew stronger, his posture more poised, and his eyes sharper with every session. She wasn't just his caretaker. She became his first teacher, his constant companion, and his surrogate family. Each night, after long training sessions, Naro curled up beside Lena's chair as she read scientific articles about cheetah behavior. Their bond deepened, becoming something rare between a wild animal and a human, genuine trust. A year passed, and Naro had transformed. No longer the trembling cub in the grass, he was now a lean, fast, confident cheetah with rippling muscles and a predatory gaze. The reserve team agreed it was time. Naro needed to return to the wild. On the day of release, Lena gently hugged Naro one last time. Her eyes shimmered with pride and sadness. A GPS collar was placed around his neck for tracking. They drove to the western plains, a vast and uninhabited region of the reserve, ideal for solitary predators like him. When the truck door opened, Naro hesitated. He turned his head back to look at Lena. Their eyes met. No words, just a powerful moment of farewell. Then, with grace, Naro sprinted into the wild, vanishing into the tall grass like a whisper. In the days that followed, Naro quickly adapted. The GPS showed him moving confidently through new terrain. Cameras installed across the plains captured incredible footage. Naro hunting, leaping, and eventually returning with his first prey, a hare. The entire staff cheered. He had made it. But life in the wild is never without danger. 1 week later, Naro strayed into a dangerous area known for abandoned cattle traps left by herders. Curious and unaware, Naro found a tangled rope and began to play with it. Suddenly, it snapped tightly around his neck. In a flash, the joyful moment turned tragic. The rope dug into his throat, tightening with every struggle. Naro thrashed, trying to break free, but the more he moved, the worse it got. He collapsed, breathing heavily, panic in his eyes. Dust swirled in the wind as the sky turned orange and dusk approached. Naro lay still, trapped and exhausted. By nightfall, he could only groan weakly, his body motionless under a star-lit sky. What Naro didn't know was that Lena, back at the rescue center, still monitored him every evening through the GPS system. That night, she noticed something alarming. The signal hadn't moved in hours. At sunrise, when the signal remained stationary, Lena immediately notified the reserve's emergency unit. She insisted on joining the rescue team. "I raised him. I'll know how to help," she told the commander, her voice steady but urgent. They set out in an all-terrain vehicle, racing across uneven ground toward Naro's last known location. As the sun rose over the red soil fields, they spotted a motionless figure. It was Naro, his body half hidden by grass, the rope still strangling him. Lena jumped out of the vehicle before it fully stopped. She ran to him, tears falling as she knelt beside his limp body. "I'm here," she whispered, stroking his head. Naro opened his eyes slightly, recognizing her scent, her voice. He gave a faint groan. Too weak to move, but strong enough to respond. The rescue team worked quickly. Using specialized cutters, they removed the rope from his neck and limbs. Some cuts were deep, raw and bleeding. They cleaned the wounds carefully while Lena cradled his head in her lap. "Stay with me, Naro," she whispered again and again. Time passed slowly. When the rope was finally removed, Naro was placed gently on a soft stretcher beneath a shaded tree. The wounds were disinfected, but his breathing was shallow. They needed to act fast. Lena prepared a stimulant injection, his last hope. The needle slid into his thigh. Moments passed. Then, a flicker in Naro's tail. His breathing steadied. His eyes opened wider. Lena opened a container of fresh meat, placing it near his mouth. He sniffed, licked it weakly, then stopped. Instead, he looked straight at her. Naro wasn't eating because he couldn't hunt. He was waiting for her reassurance. Lena leaned in, touching her forehead to his. The world paused. Around them, the wind stirred, carrying with it the scent of earth, grass, and hope. Then, slowly, Naro stood up. Wobbly at first, but with growing strength, he found his balance. They removed his bandages to allow him free movement in the wild. The GPS collar remained. Lena would still be able to check on him. When the moment came, she stepped back. Naro looked at her once more, eyes filled with gratitude. He turned and disappeared into the grasslands again. A shadow, a memory, a survivor. In the following weeks, Lena continued to monitor his progress. Naro grew stronger, traveling wider distances. Each signal confirmed he was thriving. He became a symbol of rebirth in the Nanka Reserve. Staff often gathered to retell the story, how love, patience, and courage saved a life. Naro's journey inspired young rangers, biologists, and animal lovers across the region. His survival was not just a success for conservation. It was a reminder of the deep bond that can form between human and beast. And Lena, she returned to her duties, caring for new arrivals at the rescue center. But every evening, she opened her computer, watched Naro's tiny signal move across the digital map, and smiled, knowing that out there, in the vast wild, her once fragile cub was now a powerful spirit of the savannah.
Thanks for watching until the end of the video. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any of my next videos. See you in the next ones.